Welcome to another episode of Master Mind Bites. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Master Mind Bites, I get to feature another individual. And the reason why I have this show is because over the last few years, I've had the privilege and the honor to meet some amazing individuals, some masters of their skill sets, and also some celebrities and athletes, and got to learn from them, hear their stories, ask them questions, and be able to take those lessons learned and share with you as to how we can apply that to our daily lives and our businesses as well. Today, I get to feature Mr. Teller. Teller of Penn and Teller, Teller of the dynamic duo in Las Vegas with regards to magic and entertainment. These two guys have been together for over 40 years now and have been wowing their audiences every single night with their shows, whether it's live shows, their shows on Fool Us or BS. Great entertainer, an amazing intellect, and such an amazing person when you get to know a little bit more about what he does and how he performs and how much work he puts into his craft. Now, the thing is, he is a director, he's a performer, he's a writer. And like I said, he's been in magic, he's been performing for over 40 years, but he's been doing magic for over 60 plus years. What an amazing individual. And being able to meet him after his show was absolutely amazing because he was able to answer some questions. He actually spoke to us. And for those of you who don't know, his unique style of performing is he never speaks. So he's always silent on stage. But so once you hear him speak, it's like, oh, you can speak, you talk, which is kind of pretty incredible in its own right. Now, there's a few amazing lessons learned that I want to share with you. And the thing is, you can apply a lot of these concepts which he uses in his performance into our daily lives and also our business lives. The very first thing I want to share with you was, I kind of alluded to before, was his silence. The magic of silence is absolutely amazing. He found out a way to, one, prevent hecklers from jumping in, because if you perform silently, hecklers will kind of feel stupid to heckle somebody who's silent. So that was one thing he kind of found out with regards to silence. But not only that, with the power of silence, he draws people in. He makes people think. He makes people pay attention when he's doing his performance. He also causes you, the audience, to think on your own and indirectly start fooling yourself. Instead of him saying, here is a ball that I'm holding in my hand, he just lifts it up and shows you, because he doesn't have to tell you. And that's the thing. He felt that having that mumbo jumbo, that rampart was not very necessary. So therefore, he did it all in silence. And he found that once he did everything in silence, everything's got more intimate. People start thinking, people start paying more attention. And then again, people started to stop heckling because it was kind of weird to heckle someone who didn't talk. And that was absolutely amazing when he started doing that. And he absolutely perfected that craft. And when you watch him perform, it's so mesmerizing. Now, the power of silence also works in business for sure, because the power of silence works very, very well when it comes to negotiations. Let the other person think things through. Let the other person run the numbers in their heads, and then let them speak first, so that you can find out what they're thinking about, what's concerning them. And the power of silence, because it makes people so uncomfortable when you're dealing with other people when it comes to business and all that kind of stuff, they feel obligated, or they feel the urge to speak first. And once they speak first, you get the upper hand because you get to hear what their thoughts are. But when it comes to performing, you bring people in. When you go up on stage and you speak and you have pauses and you have silence, then you bring the audience back in as well. So the magic of silence is lesson number one that I got from Mr. Teller. Lesson number two is respect the audience, respect the performers, respect people. And the thing is, he's always respected the audience. He knew that the audience isn't stupid, and therefore he wouldn't treat the audience like they're stupid. He has to think of ways of performing his art in an intellectual way, because he knows that the audience will always be trying to think of ways of figuring out how he's tricking them, how he's performing that trick, how he's deceiving them. And therefore, when he puts himself into the shoes of the audience, thinking that they're actually going to be able to figure things out, he's challenging himself even more to come up with different ways of either deceiving or tricking you with that trick. And therefore, he always respects the audience, but he also respects other performers. On the show Fool Us, he respects his performers, other guests, because he wants them to shine. The show is also about them, and it's not like, oh, it's my show and therefore I need to shine more than you. It's the thing that if you let others shine, that elevates your game as well. So as he sees other performers, other guest performers on his show do very, very well, it elevates his game and makes himself perform a lot more better as well. So respect the audience, respect the performance, and that's what we need to do too. Respect our counterparts, respect our clients, respect our audiences, so that we can put ourselves into their shoes and figure out, okay, this is how we can make things work. This is how we could collaborate. This is how we could partner. This is how we can make things grow. And in return, we all grow at the same time. The other thing he does when it comes to respecting the audience is staying behind after every single show, 34 minutes, 40 minutes. And it's absolutely amazing how many people he's met. And he's always talked about how many people he's met from generations to generations, where those stories absolutely touches his heart. And it's one of those things that makes him want to do it even more, want to meet more people, want to talk to more people. And he's met people all over the world because he stays behind and talks to other people when it comes to after the show. Number 3 is constantly challenge yourself. Constantly find ways to make it challenging for you so you can elevate your game. And that's why they have the show Fool Us. He wanted to make it fun so that other people comes up and tries to deceive him and Penn. But instead of having a reality show where it's a judging contest where he and Penn sits there and judges people, he goes, that's not really good because there's no stakes on them. So by making the contest or the show about the other magicians trying to fool them and deceive them, now they have stakes because they have a reputation of being the experts or the magicians to beat. And therefore they don't want to be fooled, but they also want to be entertained. It also allows them to go back to a time when they sat there and was mesmerized by different acts and different tricks. And therefore they go back to that situation and experience it as an audience member at the same time, but also don't want to be fooled. So they constantly challenge themselves because they're bringing in other people to try to deceive them. And he absolutely had a lot of fun with that. And you could tell when you watch them on this show, they constantly have a lot of fun trying to figure out how the other performers are actually trying to trick them, which is absolutely amazing. And the thing is, they came up with this concept so that they can constantly elevate their game, constantly challenging themselves. And for us, we need to challenge ourselves too. We need to constantly challenge ourselves in business, as a person, so that we can always grow and always become better and improve. Are we better today than we are yesterday? And that's something he always does. And that is by thinking of different ways of challenging themselves. Number 4, to be good at something, you cannot rush it. When it comes to a trick, lots of people go, oh, you're just doing a magic trick. How long will that take? Well, he says at least a minimum of 3 years to perfect one trick. To perfect the performance of that trick takes at least 3 years. And something that we don't really understand is the concept of time. Sometimes we think, oh, wow, 1 year is going to be so long. I don't know if I can commit that much time to it. Well, if anything, COVID and all this lockdown has really showed us that 1 year over a grand scheme of things isn't that long. And right now, during the pandemic, during the COVID shutdowns and all kinds of stuff, he has been sitting down and working on his craft. He has been working on different acts, different tricks, different performances so that he can perfect them. And the more time he puts into it, the better he is able to perform those tricks, so that once he comes back out and once things open up again, he's ready to go and he's always practicing again. So in order to perfect something, you have to put in the time. And in their cases, it's 3 years a minimum before it's actually perfected. Number 5, the magic of conversations. I alluded to it before, where he stays behind and talks to different people. Well, those conversations spur different stories. Those conversations spur different relationships. But even between him and Penn, when they sit down to have conversations and just normal conversations, those conversations actually lead to new tricks, new ideas, new opportunities. And it's those conversations that are magical, because they don't necessarily go into a conversation going, okay, we need to figure this out, or okay, we need to come up with a new trick. They actually start a conversation of some daily stuff and then some daily banter, and all of a sudden they're, wait a minute, this can lead to this, can lead to that, can lead to that. So therefore, having conversations with people is something that we should always do so that we can understand more about what those people are doing, understand more about that relationship, and also allows them to counter back so that we can actually share some of our stuff and be able to grow and also better ourselves. Number 6. Now, I know there's a lot of different lessons here because, man, Teller has so many different things to learn from. Number 6 is the power of giving back. He always thought about what got him started in the magic business, what got him started in the entertainment business. And he was thinking, oh yeah, it was those books that he's read from other performers and other magicians, and how those other magicians showcased how they came up with their tricks and how they performed and how they perfected it. So now he wanted to give back as well. So as we speak, he's actually writing that book of magic, of all the stuff that he's done, so he can give back and share some of his skill sets, share some of his experience. And it's another reason why he and Penn did the masterclass, because he wants to pass on that legacy. He wants to pass on to future generations to come. And when you watch the show Fool Us and young magicians come up, and some of them say, man, the two of you are my inspiration, the two of you are the reason why I became magicians, it really, really hits them on the heartstrings, because they're able to inspire new generations of magicians and performers for years and years to come. And that's why we have to think about giving back. So if you have skill sets, if you have knowledge, always think about mentoring and coaching other people so that that skill set does not go wasted. You can't take that to your grave, and therefore let your legacy continue. Pass those skill sets on, just as he and Penn are doing with regards to coaching and mentoring other people, and also him writing his book that's going to be coming out soon. And the last one, number 7, I wanted to mention is that you have to test every step. When it comes to one act that he does, one magic trick that he does, there's lots of different segments to it. He tests every single segment so that he knows that it's always going to be perfected before he actually goes out and performs it. That's why it takes a minimum of 3 years to perfect one trick. He tests every single little aspect, every single little detail, how he moves his hand, how he doesn't talk, how he moves his feet, how he moves his arms and all that kind of stuff, how he shows a card. He tests every single step. And the thing is, if you want to be good, you have to get caught. And that's why when he tests it, he wants other magicians, he wants other people to call him out on what he's doing wrong, or what he's doing bad, or what he's not doing correctly, or what he could be doing better. So he wants to get caught so he can become better. So those are the 7 things I learned from Mr. Teller. A lot of great lessons, not just in performance, but in our daily lives, so that we can become better as people and also business owners as well. So to summarize, those 7 things are: number 1, the magic of silence. Number 2, respect everyone, your partners, your audience, your clients. Number 3, always think of ways of challenging yourself. How are you going to make yourself grow? Push yourself. Number 4, to be good, you can't rush it. Like I said, a minimum of 3 years for one trick to be perfected. Number 5, have great conversations with people. Number 6, giving back. Have those skill sets, have that knowledge, pass those on to other people. And then finally, number 7, you have to test every stage of everything that you do, every single detail, because to get good, you have to get caught. So those are the 7 lessons learned I got from Mr. Teller. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please go back and watch some of my other Mastermind Bites. And if you like this episode, we have a lot of other shows, the Peak Potential Success shows, the Make More Mind Bites, and also Unlocking Your Mind Behind Make More Work Less. Thank you very much for your subscriptions, your likes, your follows, your comments. I love seeing those comments. So until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. I'll see you later.